What's up, nerds? It is the 500 subscriber extravaganza.
Woo!
500 subscriber mark on my channel. Funny enough, it was actually I mentioned when I was on Warhammer Weekly this week that I was at like 497, I think. And by the end of the Warhammer Weekly live stream, I was over 500.
Nice.
So, good times to be had by all. It's been a long time coming, being in a very tiny niche, even within the Warhammer universe. But I think one of the things that has definitely helped me is the absolute lack of content that seems to be coming out of everybody else recently. That really has boosted my numbers.
Filling the void with crazy hats and booze. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Works every time.
Yeah. I mean, at least 50% of the time.
Yeah, isn't that 50% of the time? It works 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Works 50% of the time, every time. That's from Anchorman.
Fantastic movie. That there needs to be more of.
Yeah, they made that second one, but I don't know.
It
wasn't.
Yeah. Busy like that.
Slap that up.
So, what are we all working on? What are we all drinking?
I'm drinking things. I'm drinking a Cool Beans coffee stout from New England Brewery. I have something else that's going to be fun to try.
Two ghosts. Peppers.
Yep, it's got ghost peppers in it. So I'm going to try
That's
it.
wild.
See what kind of trouble I can get in.
Before I ask you this next question, I've just got to make sure: is Jake still around? Is Jake gone?
Oh,
Are
no,
you taking
no,
this?
no.
Okay, cool. That's gonna burn your piss hole. I'm just saying.
Although it would have been okay if Jake had been here, because he's going to need to know that someday.
Yeah, that's important information to have for youngsters. You need to know which kinds of liquor are going to burn on the way out.
Yes, that's it.
It's all right. I eat ghost pepper all the time. So here it is.
You're a braver man than I.
My Slayer shot glass.
There you go.
Maybe one of these days we can get him a shot glass with a good band on it.
Hey! The best band
That's
on it.
fighting words right there.
Guys, I give up. I officially give up. I'm trying to do this fucking windmill, and there's no instructions on how to put the turny bit together. And
Is it a windmill for
I am not smart, but I can lift things. And as such, I have no idea what I'm doing.
So you're the you're not exactly the brains of the operation, I take it.
No.
Strong back and weak mind.
Yep. I think once you just accept it and work with it, life's so much easier.
Yeah, I've just sort of like leaned into laziness. That's really where I've found my niche in life. Just
You're
like
so
chronic
full of shit, mate. You climbed up to the highest diving board you could possibly do and did a triple backflip into the pool of laziness on purpose. There was no sliding into it. You were head first in that shit.
Yes.
What did the Russian judge give him?
I don't know. How much did you pay him off? And was he colluding with Trump?
Americans. Yeah. What can I do? Right, so
Also
you're at
ridiculous.
500 subscribers. So what do you do now? Now you're at 500 subscribers. What's the next goal?
Good question. I really don't know. My growth recently has been like exponential. I like just crossed 300 like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure. I think this summer I'm going to try and do a lot more regular content. Actually, like, you know, do more videos, do more things that are not just sitting around and talking like this, although this seems to be a fairly popular pastime for folks.
One of the things that we talked about doing was more like live bat reps, doing some live games. We have a good game store to do that from. We can do some produced videos.
Yeah.
Of more like, I don't know, competitive stuff, I guess.
Yeah. Our local game store actually has good Wi-Fi too.
Yeah.
Which is and it's not a hole, which is very rare for a game store.
I was going to say, it's actually a really nice game store.
Yeah. So, yeah, I actually also might have to have some conversations with the owner about doing stuff there, cross promotion of the store, etc. I don't know.
Oh shit, that's pretty cool.
No.
Yeah.
So, but first, of course, you're gonna have to get your wife's permission.
Well, yeah, naturally, it kind of has to roll with everything.
Honey, now that I'm a little bit famous, I was just wondering if you wouldn't mind if maybe I went down to the shop and did some stuff with my friends, please. That's how that conversation is going to go, because that's how it goes for all of us. So,
I mean, I'm not going to lie. That basically is how that conversation is going to be going. Except, I mean, it's slightly less whiny.
Oh, fuck off! It will be. You know, the only difference is you'll probably have like chocolates for her or something in your hand at the same time to try and sweeten the deal.
I'm not going to lie. Bribery is often involved.
Yeah, and you'll probably ask whilst holding a child so that there can be no what and grabbing you by the scruff of your neck.
Excellent shield walls, those kids.
Heck yeah. Meat shields. I use mine all the time.
Yeah, no. What's nice though is that like my wife and I kind of both have our own things, so we like she's cool with me doing Warhammer stuff because she's not like, I don't know, feeling overburdened by me like just ditching her.
No, it's because then you're out of her hair long enough for her to do the stuff that she wants to do.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's so much TV she gets to watch because I play Warhammer that she would not otherwise watch ever.
Yep. Botched and all those other. My wife watches crazy TV.
There's just watching some weird British, like Victorian nonsense upstairs. I have no idea what she's watching.
I have spent more time painting with Coronation Street or EastEnders on in the background than anything else.
More than Paw Patrol?
Yeah, even more than that. And to the point now where I actually know characters and can actually stop painting and go, hey, what happened to the Mitchells hunt? Is there something going on there? Oh, that's dodgy. Oh, look at that drug deal. And now I'm starting to look at myself and think, what have you become?
Yep.
What has happened?
You know what's actually a darn good show was Downton Abbey. I was actually a fan of that.
How do we kick Paul out of the chat, guys?
I'm
How do we remove him from this show? Can we do that?
At least mute him, maybe.
Downton Abbey.
I'm not lying. It was very good historical fiction.
No, you go. The hat stays. Historical fiction. In that case, also go and get Call the Midwives, and there's another one as well, and I can't remember it. I don't know. Look, I've seen them all. Okay, that's what happens. Now I'm into them myself. Damn it. It's a slow slug.
It is. It's terrible.
Oh well. Oh well. Oh, which reminds me, if you guys haven't got the Winterdale set yet, go and get that stuff.
The what now?
It's so good. Winterdale. It's like a terrain set that you can get, and you buy the schematics or CAD files or whatever, and then you get somebody with a 3D printer to print them, and you print them up to 32 mil scale instead of 28, so they match like all the AOS stuff. And I just finished doing a tavern. It's hot. If you guys can get it, it's so good. It's the best terrain. I love it, and it still works out cheaper than GW terrain.
I mean, I feel like everything works out cheaper than GW terrain.
And there are a lot of good terrain companies out there too. So
I'm trying to find it. Where it is.
Fundraiser at the LGS to get some money for terrain. It'd be interesting to see what we end up with.
Yeah, I've actually been meaning to donate to that, and I just have not done that yet.
Here it is. How do I send you guys the thing, the stuff?
That's a thing.
Here we go. Oh, there's a chat for the hangout. That's amazing. All right, so that's a link to it.
What's happening, baby?
Hey, everyone.
You're looking fabulous this evening.
I like that you also joined us with the hat motif.
Yes.
Well, we're actually in the middle of packing because I leave for my next base at the beginning of next month. And these are my only headphones that aren't put away. They're actually like bed headphones. Like they're designed like withstand a lot. Yeah. So they keep things
I keep waiting for you to put 2 pieces of cucumber on your eyes and just lie back.
There you go. I mean, I do have the lime in my drink, so I might as well.
There we go.
So where are they shipping you off to now?
Southern New Mexico.
Oh, good. That
Yeah.
sounds like not an awful place to be at all.
It did initially, but I'm within like an hour to an hour and a half of El Paso, which is at least 600,000 people.
Oh, I just thought that was a taco.
Yeah. And then about an hour from Las Cruces, which is about 200,000 people. So at least there's some civilization nearby. So
Yeah.
Is that where they did that movie Sicario? Because if it is, man, watch out. That movie was messed up.
could be. I'm not familiar with it.
Don't watch it before you go there.
I won't.
Yeah, the city names in New Mexico are all very easily confused with Taco Bell dishes.
Yes.
What's New Mexico? Is New Mexico part of America or?
yeah, it's one of our
I'm
states.
confused. And why is it new?
Because we stole it from Mexico in the Mexican-American War.
Yeah.
Okay. And why is New York new?
Because it's newer than the original York in England.
Yep. It was actually originally New Amsterdam.
Yeah, that's right.
And, okay, so it was the
British
new
took
version
over
of
the colony from
Amsterdam.
the Dutch and renamed it.
Man, you guys are messed up. Why can't you just be like, yeah, that's blah name? Like,
That's a good one.
yeah, I thought so too. And like, and then I was watching a movie the other day, and it was some American thing, and they're like, "Oh, it's on the corner of 5th and 12th."
That's because we set up the major cities in a grid pattern and then just number them. Easy, done. It's not like
In some cities,
go around in circles and into actions.
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of the United States was like really pre-planned before, like, with like a lot of the cities were very planned. So,
Not Boston.
yeah,
Yeah, like Boston.
It's crazy.
How's that going?
Boston's awful for that reason.
Yeah.
I heard you can buy a house real cheap there though.
Yeah, right.
It's a great time to be a buyer.
Yeah, both my sisters live out there, and they keep thinking about, maybe we'll buy a house, and then they see you get a garbage fixer-upper for like $100,000.
And then 50 Cent releases a new movie of him on the streets of Boston somewhere. You're like, nah, I'm not going to buy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy town. Fun. Crazy.
Yeah. One of the drinkingest places in America.
Yep. I like that part.
I don't understand. If I was American, I'd move to Canada. That place is beautiful.
You know, Canada has really two things going against it. Number one, it's really fucking cold all the time.
Yeah.
Number two, it is full of Canadians. And although that may seem like a good idea at the start because they seem polite, that politeness gets pretty annoying and condescending after a while. You really realize they're not actually that polite. It's just a surface thing. They're just as big of assholes as we are.
They're all crazy.
Yeah, but we're all crazy down here too.
Well, yeah, you're all descendants of cum.
I'm a descendant of different tribes of cannibals. Thank you very much. However, other parts of my friends and families are probably descendants. Yeah. I prefer cannibals personally. So
Somebody's in trouble.
That is fascinating.
Yeah, were the Celts like cannibals and shit? Anyway, I don't know. So yeah, I'm not the convict side.
You'd have to be like half convict, right?
I try not to think about it too much because then I'll just judge myself as much as I judge everybody else. And I don't need that kind of guilt.
No, that's good policy. Stick with that.
We did actually speak about moving to the States, but you know, there's all the guns and the Americans and the marrying your cousin thing and the stuff that just I'm not a fan of. So
I mean, the marrying your cousin thing's only in
nobody does that, yeah. I think
I'm not going to say nobody does it. I mean, West Virginia's a place.
Arkansas is a place.
That too. Mississippi, Alabama.
Yeah. No, I just figured like I'll come over and I'll be like, well, everybody else isn't like James or Des or Paul and shit. Everyone else are just assholes. I feel like I've met the nice people, but everyone else will just be crap. And then I'll just
You pretty much have.
Yeah. I figured as much.
Actually, we only can have so many nice people per capita. So
yeah,
we really have to choose where we live. Yeah.
So they kind of spread you guys out.
New Jersey.
That's why James is being shipped around all the time because he's sort of the floater.
Yeah. It's also balanced the same way with like mediocres of intelligence. Like you have to have about 100 million idiots to every one above like 105 IQ. So there's that problem too.
I didn't look. I live in Australia. I wasn't aware that IQs went over 100. So that's pretty interesting. and that's just going by the way I watch people drive.
Yeah, there's a lot of that here too.
Bob, where are you?
Massachusetts.
I'm sorry?
Massachusetts.
No, I heard you. I'm just sorry.
I was going to say the same thing.
However, actually, voluntarily, I grew up here and I moved away for a long time, and I voluntarily came back from California.
Does the post office make your envelopes bigger so you can fit your state name on it when you're writing on them? Or?
Yep. Stamps too.
I was going to say Massachusetts and California, you must be a glutton for punishment.
Well, I got dragged to California. Massachusetts is a good place to raise our son. But,
true.
I have to say, like, of all the places I have lived, Denver was the best.
Yeah, I was hoping for Denver.
Yeah,
they're all the same to me.
They got
Does
the good.
Route 66 go through there? That's
not through Massachusetts.
See, now there's something you could do, Paul. Just get the guys together, get like a convertible 69 Mustang or something, and then stop off at every place you can from one end of Route 66 to the other and have a game of AOS at like every store on the route.
That's a great idea, except we should get a Winnebago so we can game while we're going between each game store.
That's true.
You guys will probably fucking die because somebody will have the bright idea of, oh yeah, it's cruise control. We can leave the steering wheel and then
autopilot. Yeah.
I'm gonna go watch the game.
Hey, that's actually not a bad idea. I've been learning about how autopilot systems work, so I think I can install one.
There you go.
Oh god. This could be one of the last shows that PaulMConti ever does, ladies and gentlemen.
So I don't know if you guys were around the YouTubeverse long enough ago to remember this. Do any of you guys remember Vince's cross-country road trip?
Yes.
Yes.
For that.
Yeah. Went it was like just before the release of Age of Sigmar. He spent like the early part of that summer going like all around the United States, visiting like all of the different Warhammer YouTubers and getting games in with everybody.
Yep.
So, you know, that there should be that version 2. So,
yes,
that happened right before I started playing.
Yeah,
well, Paul,
and
that should be your 500 subscriber thing.
yeah, man, that's
Special prize.
you know what though? Like, I think that thing was a curse because I think almost everyone, if not every single person that he visited, no longer plays Age of Sigmar. Like, they all bailed on Age of Sigmar.
Oh man, that's a bummer.
Well, we could have almost had that because I was trying to get Paul to come down to the new not Warhammer world that they're opening up in the U.S. because I'm going to be there for the opening of that.
In a coffee shop.
Yeah, and he's not going to do it. So blame Paul for
I
that.
hope their coffee isn't priced as high as their fucking miniatures are, or no one will be drinking there.
It's made out of styrene. That's why.
It's actually going to be twice as much because they're going to have Starbucks brand, but then they're going to have like Warhammer stamped on it too. So you're going to pay for the Starbucks name and the Citadel name. So
double license latte, please.
Exactly.
My God. My God. I think that's a really good idea, Paul. I think you should just pre-plan your trip with those YouTube personalities or stores or whatever. Map it all out and then do it.
I'd be down.
You know, the way to do it is to coincide with it because Route 66 starts in Chicago.
There you go.
I don't know like anything about these things, so.
And the only music you're allowed to listen to for the entire way is jazz standards and 12-bar blues stuff. So you can do Route 66 and Sweet Home Chicago and all of those sorts of things. That's it.
I don't know. Switch it up depending on which area we're going through. We'll start off with the 12-bar blues, but after that, we have to switch it up a little. Maybe
Yeah, and don't let Des control the audio because you'll go from you'll go from Sweet Home Chicago to like a Rage Against the Machine song or something.
Yeah, Green and Blood. Yeah.
Yeah, see, we've set the expectation now, Paul. Come on, man. When are you doing it?
Yeah.
As soon as my wife gives me permission.
Mm-hmm.
So, would you like me to get Michael from Doom and Darkness to ask her?
Oh, that might help. That'll get her to go to Australia.
Okay.
He's the Warhammer Widow Whisperer. Is that?
He's like he is like in the Warhammer universe. He's like Magic Mike.
Ah.
Does that help? He's like the Magic Mike of Warhammer.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. My wife definitely has a crush on him.
Well, after the last time I was on, Paul, whenever you confessed about your love for cows and all, I'm not really surprised by anything anymore.
You know, all those years growing up around cows, never went cow tipping. I'm a little disappointed in myself.
I'm
I'm a
disappointed.
little bit disappointed.
Because you are always approaching them from the backside.
Mm.
I think you may be confusing me with Ryan and his sheep.
Hey, you leave my sheep out of the sunshine. All right, you're not gonna try. You're not gonna do a hospital pass. All that shit that's coming to you now. That's not coming my way. All right, there's no way around this. You just have to face it head on, unlike the cows, and deal with it.
I mean, really, you don't want either end of a cow. There's really nothing for either of those ends.
You gotta own that bovine love. Own the bovine love.
The only part you want is the steak or the burger. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm going to help you set up this road trip, Paul.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, first, you need to get your ass to the United States and play some.
I'm not doing it. Hell no, I'm not doing it. I tell you what, I'll definitely put all of that shit on the 2D3 website.
That's not even
that's
fair.
fine.
That's not even fair of Paul to ask you of that. You can't make a road trip out here. Paul, don't be unfair. He'd have to fly. That's completely different.
Challenge accepted.
There are amphibious cars and hovercraft.
You cover my trip. You cover my stays, my food, my everything else, mate. And you've got yourself a deal. All right.
How do you feel
I
about
have a very
Gerber
nice
baby
couch
food?
you can sleep on.
Excellent.
Gerber baby food. I don't know. You can make it cheaper than that if you make that kind of puree stuff yourself.
How do you feel about ramen noodles?
There you go.
The ramen road trip. Very good.
And you'll also need to cater to my my keto diet. So lots of steak and cheese and eggs and broccoli.
I am a fan of the keto diet myself.
Excellent. Well, then we'll be fine.
Yeah.
So we'll plan out your trip and have a shave the morning you leave, and then just don't shave for the entire trip. Because how long will it take to do Route 66 from one end to the other?
I have no idea. A few days, anyway.
Oh, is that all? I thought it would take like a week.
If you put the pedal to the metal and drove nonstop, you could probably do it in 2.5 days. That's like...
Oh, that's not that bad. This isn't that challenging. All right, I need to make it there and back. And on the way there, you can only stop at places on the right side of Route 66. And on the way back, you can only...
You can only stop at places on the way back on the left side. Wouldn't it be the same?
It'd be the same. No, but like you can only stop on places on the right side, so that it's going to make, because isn't it like that way you'd only cover one side of the state and then the other side of the state on the way back? We could do this, man. I'm telling you. Well, you could do this, and we'll just plan it all out and enjoy watching it.
I don't know that there is anyone that plays Warhammer along Route 66 other than like in Chicago.
Oh, really?
No,
well, see, I don't know enough about America, so
the Midwest has a huge Warhammer community, or even the top gaming community.
Maybe
I also don't know like what path Route 66 actually takes.
Okay, so in that case, we change it
right now.
It's a pilgrimage.
Yep.
Your mission is to take Warhammer to places where they don't have it along Route 66 and preach the gospel of Sigmar.
And now cosplay, you got to dress up like a fanatic.
Yeah. I want to see you standing on like a little milk box.
You may be able to Kickstarter that.
Yep.
I'm going to write all this down so I don't forget it.
I know. I thought about that earlier. I was like, oh, it could be a good GoFundMe or Kickstarter.
We got to get Paul doing something in public in a silly hat.
I usually don't wear hats.
Yeah.
I'm usually not a hat guy, but tonight I'm a hat guy.
Yeah, you look sexy in a hat, mate. I'd go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how far north is 66?
Chicago.
Okay.
So it starts. Goes all the way to California, Sunset Boulevard. Go right to the ocean.
Where does it start?
It starts in Chicago.
Gentlemen, I have to go. I have a bike ride date with my daughter that I am not going to miss. Paul, thank you for having me. Congratulations on 500. I think that's fucking amazing, buddy. And here's to the next 500 as well. It's the last of my coffee.
Yeah, keep recruiting those Aussies.
All right, gentlemen. I'll see you all later. Have a good one.
Thanks for having me.
All right, now that fucker's gone.
So I was looking at that big reveal tomorrow.
Yeah, the video was funny because they're just fucking with us.
Yeah. Well, you know, I went to school to do video, right? So before I came on, I was looking and I could see in the reflection of Ben Curry's eyes, I think I know what it is.
What?
Eidolon Deepkin bikinis. I think that's what we're getting.
I can agree with that. Definitely see it.
I don't know if you've had too much to drink or not enough.
Maybe not.
Yes. Also, while we're here being nonsensical, what do we think this is? I mean, I assume this is the like soft AOS 2.0 that everybody's been kind of rumoring around about.
I'm not even aware of what this is. You'll have to catch me up. This week has been crazy for me.
They just released stuff on social media probably like an hour ago of like people like Mitzi and Ben Curry and the like their reactions to seeing something that is alluded to be something new for AOS, but we have no
And it's
tomorrow.
like on the actual like Age of Sigmar pages.
Yep,
it's on the Warhammer TV YouTube.
Okay, I haven't checked that yet.
Yep.
Okay, I see it actually now. Yeah, they actually have it on the regular Warhammer Age of Sigmar Facebook page as well.
Yeah, I think that's where I do it from.
Is there a chance that they might just be buying Forge World? Because we know there's some weirdness going on with Forge World right now.
They already own it.
Yeah, I thought they already owned it.
Yeah,
like, I thought,
do they? Okay.
Yeah, it's a sub company,
okay.
but they keep it separate on the books for like tax purposes and all. But yeah, they own it. Yeah, I don't think it's 2.0. I'm gonna be honest. Just like, I mean, like that's cool. Like I would be excited about 2.0, but I can't see like a big group of individuals because I just watched the video. I can't see a big group of individuals being like, "Oh yeah, it's like the 2.0 rule book."
Yeah, it's.
Well, I mean, I think it was obviously staged. First of all,
well, yeah, I know, but
like, and GW is now gaining a reputation for intentionally screwing with people.
Yeah, for trolling.
Yeah,
they're good at that. I mean, more power to them. I think it's fun. Like I like personality GW as opposed to shut up and never talk to anybody from their high tower GW.
Exactly.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm still in the camp that I think that AOS 2.0, if you will, comes out as a new General's Handbook.
Yeah, it's just gonna be an FAQ. I think.
Like you're just gonna have like a new rule release like that.
It's gonna be goblins. I'll put my money on goblins. Something squigular.
I wouldn't have guessed that. That's a good guess.
I mean, their implication in that video is that they're changing Age of Sigmar in general. There was something about some sort of like storm of magic or something like that.
Oh, that's true.
And that thing that appears to be a purple sun.
No, it's not a purple sun. Get it right.
I never want to see the purple sun again.
It's not a purple sun. It's a freaking it's that fish. The freaking
grape squig. What is it?
No. Like in the real world, like we have those freaking fish. I don't know why I'm forgetting their names.
Pufferfish?
No, not a pufferfish. My gosh, it's like a shellfish. It's like
fish.
A Nautilus?
Maybe. I'd have to
Seahorse?
look at it. Oh my gosh, Paul, you're useless.
Listen, if I just keep throwing out random sea creatures, eventually it's going to hit on something that reminds you of the thing that it actually is.
Sea urchin. Sea urchin. That's what it is.
It's been a what?
I did it.
No.
Put one on the scoreboard for me.
I googled it. Not you. I said spiky shellfish, and then sea urchin was the first thing that came up. I'm like, boom, that's what it was.
Good job, Paul.
Woo!
You're useless, Paul.
No, it'll be fun to see stuff we get from Warhammer Fest tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that it's they chose a new date and it's the same weekend as the South Coast GT.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like looted player base.
Yeah. All right, so wild predictions. What do we all think is going to do well at South Coast?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I think Zinch. Zinch and Nurgle.
Tired of Zinch.
Nurgle has been quietly doing well at a lot of events.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. Nurgle's Maggot King's really, really solid.
Yeah.
The right build could give Zinch a run for its money for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've only played Zinch once, and it wasn't like a net list sort of build of Zinch, but I damn near tabled him. Like if I had, actually, we didn't even play out the full 5 turns because it was a timed round. But if we actually played out the full 5, I probably would have actually tabled him.
Was it at that tournament, the Change Host one?
Yeah.
Huh. That was pretty much a net list.
It wasn't any battalions.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, there wasn't. No, he had the Change Host battalion. He did.
No, he wasn't using it.
I forgot. He used it on me.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bunch of bunch of demons, bunch of horrors. But other than that, it was like a bunch of horrors, a bunch of magic, skyfires.
I think you're misremembering because I remember him using the Change Host on me, or he cheated. No.
Maybe he cheated.
Oh, I know who you're thinking. You're thinking about it. I'm thinking about a different guy.
Ah, got it.
Last tournament we were at definitely had the Change Host and expired him.
Yep. Yeah. So, is Deepkin allowed at South Coast this year? Or is it too new?
I don't know, but I don't see it.
There wouldn't be a point taking it.
I think there are people taking it. I think I saw a couple. I can't remember off the top of my head precisely who. I think a couple people green Deepkin. I don't think that's going to win.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't heard anybody talking about Deepkin as like a super competitive, this is really good army.
Oh, I think
everybody's like, oh, this is so cool. But
it's cool, but you're really locked in due to their allegiance ability in the tide stable or whatever it's called to how you can play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can dodge it.
Yeah, it seems very linear.
Yep.
And I don't like that.
It's really really cool. It's a really cool idea, but I think it could have used something like the Nurgle allegiance ability where they can modify how it works a little bit more. They only have 2 choices in how it works. In or in reverse.
Yeah.
And then I think there's one battalion that changes, like you can like change 1 turn to high tide in addition to the normal high tide.
Yeah, there is one like that, and that's the one that if you take the leader that makes all of the Eagles' troop choices, I believe.
Yeah,
I've read through it all, but it's been a few weeks, so I forget.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like there's anything that's jumping out of that book that's like, this is really powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it.
The only thing that jumps out for me is the giant turtle, because I'm getting one for my undead army.
Yeah, that thing is also huge. Have you seen the size comparisons on it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they really missed a trick though, because you can't build a legal army list by like 20 points if you take 4 of them. I wanted to take 4 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I can make the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because I'm from Massachusetts,
Yeah,
where the Turtles are from, and I'm a comic book nerd. That's a big missed sales opportunity right there too.
Yeah. Well, you know, if history has told us anything, they'll have their points changed in the General's Handbook.
Yeah. I'm excited about the new General's Handbook. I wonder what, especially for the Quadrant Overlords, what's going to happen.
They're going to pile a second gravestone on top of them.
I'm just really curious to see if they're going to change many of the allegiance abilities.
No, they absolutely are.
For like the armies that don't have books. And it, like, how much are they going to change?
I think they're going to change pretty strongly. I think we're going to see, maybe not every year, maybe every 2 years, would be a good bet. But I think we're going to keep on seeing this change up, because I think that this predicted 2.0 is not going to be that big of a change. Like, I
100%.
I stand by the fact that they're going to keep the rules simple, around 4 pages. Like, that's their thing. They're like, AOS is our entry game, right? Our gateway drug. And what you're going to see instead is these factions that don't have books get shuffled up pretty often. And because, I mean, really, like, that's less rules to, say, take free people and be like, okay, here was their allegiance ability. We're going to rework them so they work completely differently. And that's 1 to 2 pages of rules for what, like 7 to 10 factions. So you're looking at 14 to 20 pages of rules every year or two, as opposed to, say, 100 pages of rules every time you do an update. Like, they can change the way the game feels really dramatically with a lot less effort this way. So I think that these armies that don't have books are going to change a lot. And I think we're going to see some of the ones like, I mean, I know Death got their new book, but certain ones that kind of existed in this new General's Handbook, like the, what was it, the vampire one, I think that's going to just go away. I think we're going to start seeing some of those actually be just like dropped and new ones kind of cycled in that haven't been updated. So I think we're going to get kind of interesting rotation going on.
One of the reasons why I, not really jokingly, suggest like they're seeing something squig, they updated just about everything else except for MoonClan. And MoonClan is so prominent right now in the fluff. They got a Harbinger. Like, I think we might see a new MoonClan book before that General Handbook left out.
Yeah, my guess for tomorrow is it's going to be MoonClan.
That'd be cool.
Which I'm so excited, I'm going to throw my chair out the window. I hope.
Like, Destruction as a whole doesn't interest me in playing the game, but I love playing against Destruction. I think their models are a lot of fun to see on the tabletop. And they have models that, even if I don't have any interest in playing an army from a gameplay perspective, I want to buy because I think they're fun and I want to paint them. Things like Squigs, like, constantly just pull me towards them, even though I have zero desire to play Orcs and Goblins because they're just goofy fun.
I love Orcs, as Bob can attest, and Iron Jaws are awesome. That's what finally I was like, okay, I can't resist those models anymore. We're into Age of Sigmar now. And MoonClan, I just went crazy. Again, accumulating tons of Squigs and Squig Hoppers, and I have 2 Colossal Squigs now, so I'm ready. I'm all in. I'm ready to go.
That's the best part, is all the Squigs.
Yep. Yeah, I think, I kind of like Destruction. They're probably my favorite faction of the 4. I don't really like Order much except for the KO. I love the KO.
Yeah, I like the KO. They're an interesting idea. I like the concept of the Stormcast and some of their models. I'm not a huge fan of them as a whole. The rest of Order, especially those stupid free people, can just go away.
Yeah, they're the worst.
They are. Those stupid pantaloons.
I have been so disappointed in free people ever since they got elite. Ever since the last General's Handbook, I've been incredibly disappointed in them.
Did the idea that you and I theorized, Paul, when it first came out, did that not work at all, or did you just not try it because the game seemed to have shifted so far from that style of play that it just seemed inadvisable?
What idea were you thinking of?
Well, when you and I had talked about the more like meandering, controlling, slow advance, almost like the way that Tau play 40K.
That's how people have generally been playing it, and the problem is that there's a lot of other armies that do that are better at it.
Yep.
Like Zinch outranges you, KO outranges you,
Right.
both of them out firepower you.
Right.
You know, even the what do you call them? Oh, the tree dudes.
Sylvaneth?
Yeah, but the Sylvaneth guys with bows, like they're even better.
Okay,
like,
to be fair,
all of the Stormcast shooting is better.
To be fair, the Sylvaneth bows are some of the longest in the game.
Yes.
So to say they outrange you isn't really saying much. Yeah, I never thought of them as like as a long range hitting team. Like whenever this, I mean, honestly, ever, but especially when the new GHB dropped. Well, I say new because I've barely gotten to play it, but with the newer GHB, I mean, they're such a mid-range army. You have to approach them as such. You have to get them to the middle of the table, and then basically sit there and take advantage of their synergistic kind of defensive abilities to just control the board. And I just wasn't sure how viable that really is because, yeah, there's ways you can get like movement shenanigans and all, but there are so many fast armies out there that to kind of get the position you want and bunker up, if you will, I wasn't sure how viable that really was.
What I will tell you is that from what little bit of research I have done, the best results a Free Guild Allegiance army has done at any GT that I have seen worldwide is 3-2.
So barely above 500. Yep.
Yep. And that is including, like, I've been trying to put a show together for a little while with a couple of dudes. The guy that is under the ITC rankings, the #1 player, Free Guild player in the UK, and the #1 Free Guild player in Australia. And both of them have, like, they basically report the same thing. Like 3-2 is about it. Well, like, almost get that 4th win once in a while. But the big problem is that they're a very static army. The build that seems to be most successful is basically one great company with 40 swordsmen and 2 units of 30 handgunners.
That's all your points, and your movement's gone. You have no board control. You can't get objectives. Terrible.
Yeah, and then general on horseback and 3 griffins.
Do you have enough points when you do that left over to get some of the Stormcast hunters?
No, I don't believe so.
You don't have a couple hundred points left over?
I mean, you would have to like drop a griffin.
Yeah, they're pretty. I know they're pretty. Because that could be one way to pop up on a back edge and grab some objective.
I've been thinking about an army, like doing a mixed order army that is heavy on Free Guild and also mixing in some Stormcast, Collegiate Arcane, Ironweld Arsenal. But the more I keep like noodling on that list, the more it just keeps turning into basically a Stormcast list.
Yeah.
Because like the handgunners on paper look really good, but that 16-inch range is terrible.
Yep. The handgunners, to me, with how they're built, because their range is so short, they feel like a unit that wants to be a skirmisher, but is too one-dimensional to be effective at that. Because to be a good skirmisher in AOS, you really need to have 2 effective abilities. But yeah, they're very one-dimensional. Yeah, and Stormcast do almost everything better.
Yeah, and they lose buffs when they move.
Yep.
So it's a major problem for them.
Yep.
I don't know. I've been playing around with the idea of Stormcast mid-range sort of lists that function like the free guild lists that I was playing before GHB 2017.
Dipping into the Vanguard.
Yeah, I think the Vanguard Chamber is really underrated.
I've been seeing that since the beginning. Like but they're tricky. They're really you're gonna have to know your shit to really run them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the way playing free guild always was before. Like you had to know the army inside and out and understand what everything did and what strengths and weaknesses were in order to play it effectively.
Yep. Not very forgiving if you make a mistake.
So I think I figured it out. So what this big release is, because I didn't have an idea. So I've been thinking about it. It's new, not Tomb Kings.
Ooh.
It's whatever they've become.
Interesting.
I don't know if I really believe that. That's what I want.
Because Russ Veal wasn't smiling in the videos at all.
That's true. Maybe he's mad that they're not Tomb Kings anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm hoping that those come up soon because I keep seeing GW teasing all their new we're gonna spin up our molds one more time on these order made to order stuff. I'm like, just get the flipping Tomb Kings already. So I can actually buy some.
I'm sure they're gonna do that for the Squigs very soon.
Yeah.
My bias.
So how would you feel then if they announced Bretonnians tomorrow instead of the Tomb King army?
Yeah. I mean, Bretonnians have some kind of cool stuff, so I'd be okay with some knights that I can chop up and convert into undead stuff. Most armies I'm okay with. I look at them and I'm like, yeah, that model's really cool. I'm going to find a way to make that dead.
Yeah. That's what I do with everything. I'm going to figure out a way to do that some way different.
Yeah.
To my Vulcan for my Quadrant Overlords. Let me see if I got a good Vulcan from Flash Gordon from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
The Hawkman. Convert Sky Warden into one.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I've got a Green Knight on the way that is going to be a White King because I had one, but then Black Knights with the Nagash Codex update became actually playable.
Yeah.
So I had converted a Black Knight into one, so I converted it back into just like a unit champion. So I needed a new White King. So I'm going to use the Green Knight for that because I think it looks cool. I've got some of the Raging Heroes, the Toughest Girls 2 Kickstarter, the female medieval knights. Those are my Blood Knights. I've got Chaos Knights as Blood Knights. I've got some Undead Sylvaneth that I play as ghouls instead of the ghouls because their stats are pretty close anyways. Things like that.
Nice.
I always liked the Bretonnians, but I was that was when I first started in the hobby. I was like, I'm not at that skill level yet where I can paint Bretonnians with all their house icons and everything else. So now I'm at the point I would paint all of them different. I would paint them all with different house icons.
Yeah. On the whole Bretonnian thing, I think there's one piece of evidence from that video that we can point to that says it's not Bretonnia. Nobody's head exploded.
I only brought up Bretonnians because it would be insulting if they did that and not Tomb Kings.
Well, the thing is everyone's talked about, and they've made good points about how AOS is shifting away so much from classic Warhammer fantasy and so many older fantasies like Tolkien fantasy, right? Which obviously Warhammer draws heavily on because almost everything does. Where you have real world elements to it, and a lot of them. So Bretonnia is very much that late medieval army, European army that just happens to be in this fantasy world instead of the real world. That's the only real difference. And everything in Age of Sigmar has gone 180 degrees away from that. We don't have new horses being produced. Like, yeah, the undead have skeleton horses, but every other newish kit is some other fantastic beast that's a mountain and not a horse. And so if we all of a sudden had Bretonia, we would completely blow everyone's mind, and because they'd be like, whoa, everything I thought was happening is wrong.
The one reason I can see them bringing these items back, maybe, is to get that Warhammer Total War crowd back.
Yes. Those are good games. I'll give them that.
I know a lot of people love that game.
Yeah. I play it pretty frequently. It's one of the few I still play.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I just on the basis of the way they were framing that video, I'm expecting it to be some bigger announcement than like a new army. I think it's going to be something rules related or like new way to play or something.
It's going to be a worldwide campaign?
Maybe. Well, they already announced that they're doing one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wonder if they're just going to announce more about that tomorrow.
The last one was how Bob and I got even into playing Age of Sigmar again.
Yep.
Well, I think it'd be hilarious, right? Like, they do this kind of goofy little video because they learned from Malign Portents, don't overhype, because so many people were so mad whenever that came out. Just like the immediate, like, just slam back. I think it'd be funny. Like, they have all this, you know, all these like guys just looking kind of goofy with like, oh, I'm like a kid in a candy shop excited. And it's like, new line of GW paints. Like, I could just totally steal control.
How mad did people get about a new line of paints already?
All the colors you've been using are phased out. You got to figure out the new system again. I think that's their hobby. Like, they're a bunch of
I'm done.
statists.
It'll be exciting anyway. It'll be starting soon, right? There.
Yeah.
Hours.
Yeah, I mean, we'll all wake up to it in the morning.
Yep.
Or for those of us that stay up all night, you will have information ahead of the rest of us.
Yeah, I'll be refreshing my browser.
What time is it launching over there?
I think it's like 11 a.m. or something like that.
Okay, so like 6 or 7 here. Yeah, for me. Yeah.
I've been asleep for at least 2 hours by then.
Yeah. I'll probably be up about that time. Go hit the gym to start my day. So I'll check my phone.
Warhammer Fest is very, very exciting. I wish they still had Games Day here.
Yeah.
It's always fun. I went to a lot of those.
I wish they had more things that are actually close to me. I always make the argument, I'm like, hey, Warhammer's HQ in America is really close to me. Put more big events near me, but they never do.
But they put the Citadel coffee store is fairly close.
Yeah, but the timing is the worst possible time because, like,
thanks, bye.
I know, like, I've lived here for 27 years, and you can't put it here until I'm finally leaving. Okay, like, it's kind of funny. I'm going there, you know, on the weekend it opens because I graduate from tech school literally the day before, and so I'm like, okay, like, I'll swing by on my way to my new base, but like, your timing still sucks.
Yeah, it is not.
Keep daydreaming about where I'm going to move to. That's not cold ass New England. And Pensacola seems like a nice place, and it's not too far away from there.
Yeah, come join me in New Mexico where it gets to like 110. Not that uncommon.
I actually love the heat. I do not mind it one bit.
Yeah. I'm literally going to be right next to the desert and the mountains. They're basically going to each be on like one side of me. So there'll be like paragliding and skydiving and snowboarding and whitewater rafting. And then you can just like drive like 10 minutes south into like the heart of the desert.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, there'll be some cool stuff to do. All that means you'd actually have to go outside for once.
He doesn't like that.
He does.
Two things I avoid: outdoors and manual labor.
I tried to get him to move down there too already, but he said no.
Yeah. I mean, Florida might happen eventually.
Yep.
Yeah. That's just because you're addicted to Disney World.
And the weather. I actually like the weather in Florida.
You like the humidity?
Comparatively speaking, like I'll take that over a lot of other things.
Yeah.
The freezing cold, the slush, we still get the humidity anyway.
Yeah.
Florida. Yep.
But there's no Floridians living in Massachusetts. So
just snowbirds.
Still better than living in Florida all the time.
Yeah, you know what else that Florida has that Connecticut also has? Old Jews from Connecticut. Lots of those.
I'm sure you work with a lot of those in your profession.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, accounting is like this running joke that it's like all like Jews and Italians, and then you go to an accounting firm and it's all Jews and Italians. It is like not at all a joke. Like, and if you look at like the names of accounting firms, like they're all like Jewish and Italian names. Like on like almost every single one, you will find either a Jewish or Italian name.
Do you ever find both?
Sometimes both.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, part of it also is just like the part of the country that we're in here. In the like Connecticut, New York, New Jersey area in general, there's a very high concentration of Jewish people compared to the rest of the country.
Yep. Historically, that's where they moved, and then also if you like think about it too, it's like in America, who like what groups of people like historically had a lot of money? I mean, not everyone, but just like a few individuals from those communities. Yeah, like it makes sense, and you know, had family structures and all that really stressed like saving money, building wealth, things like that. It all makes sense.
My town actually has a very big Jewish community. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what the math is on that, what the percentages is. Out of curiosity. Pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always like weird to me when I talk to people from like other parts of the country, and when I was in training with the IRS, my training group had some people from New York, including a couple of people that were like what's the word for it? Like very like Orthodox Jews. And there were people from like the Midwest in that same training group that had literally never met a Jewish person ever.
I think I've met 2 in my whole life.
Yeah, it's just interesting the differences throughout the country.
Yep.
That's like an everyday thing for me. I wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah, it's like, you randomly see a person walking down the street with a yarmulke. Okay, that's normal. Not normal anywhere but here, but
lots in my town too. We have 2 synagogues, I think, maybe 3.
Oh yeah.
We have a whole Jewish community center. It's awesome. I actually sent my daughter there for daycare.
That sounds pretty cool. The only common Jewish influence in my life is my favorite superhero, and that's only vaguely Jewish. That'd be Moon Knight.
Oh, the Moon Knight.
Yeah, pretty hardcore fan. Well, Paul, I'm old. I've been up since like 3:30 a.m. I'm about to crash.
How did you do that to yourself?
Well, because I'm normally swing shift now, so I work from 4 to midnight. But my sergeant was gone this week, so we had a different sergeant who had to basically like teach our class, and he does not do swing shift, so we had to switch to morning shift from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. And so I could, still get the gym on before the day begins, because like once morning shift is done, like you can't hardly get in. I got up at like 3:30 to get my day started. So I'm going to have to crash.
Enjoy.
You should get hazard pay for that.
That would be nice. That would be nice. Well, thanks for having me, Paul. It's always good to see you all and reconnect with the Warhammer community.
Yes.
We need more videos from you soon.
I'm going to try to. Hopefully once life calms down a little bit, once I graduate from here.
Yeah. Bring all of your real-life military tactics into the Warhammer universe.
I don't know how much of that I'll have, because most of what I study is just fixing jets. But I'll do what I can.
They teach you how to get sand out of the engine? It seems like a thing for the Air Force these days.
That's what the crew chiefs do. I'm an avionics technician, so we're considered specialists. So basically, we deal with like all the computer systems and some of the like work that an electrician would do on a jet. That's more of what we focus on.
Nice.
Yeah, it is nice. It means I don't have to do things like clean up pilot vomit and sand and things like that.
Yeah. Common occurrence?
Not super uncommon, yeah. Sometimes they're what's called piddle packs will fill up, and so crew chiefs have to clean it up after they go to the bathroom too, things like that. So I'm glad to not be a crew chief. Yeah.
Military sounds terrible. Better
it is depending on your job.
You got the right one, it sounds like.
I did.
Yeah. You passed the right test.
I did. Actually, I got the max score possible, so that's what got me into it.
Nice.
So, y'all have a good one.
All right.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
I am really enjoying painting these Blight Kings. This is like renewing my faith in painting.
I like that.
It's fun painting gross things.
It is. They're very forgiving to paint too, because like if they come out looking like kind of half-assed or weird or something like that, I don't know. Like they're supposed to look gross.
Yeah, I keep thinking that I'm going to challenge myself to paint an entire Maggot King army in about maybe a month. I think that's too much time, though. I might do it.
Well, the question is, what's going to be in it? Like, how big of an army is it going to be?
Oh, the one I've been talking about, the thrice-fold defilement.
Oh, that's not a big force at all.
No.
What? The 3 great unclean ones, 20 plague bearers, 5 blight kings, and a couple of heroes?
The one I made is going to be 3 great unclean ones, the Glotkin, 30 plague bearers, and I think that's all I have room for.
Nice.
So it should be fairly fast, but it should be. I'm excited to see how fast I can get it done, because I got my entire Skaven army done in about 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I put my mind to it, I can paint pretty fast. I keep getting into roadblocks with my KO, which is frustrating for me. That's why I keep putting them aside.
Yeah. They seem like they could be frustrating. They're not like they're very detailed models.
Yeah, and I keep changing my mind about how I want to paint them, and
yeah, and they're also models that seem like they really want a clean paint job on them.
Yeah,
like you don't want them to look like weathered or worn or anything like that. Like they look like they want to be in like really shiny, like nice chrome finish kind of armor.
And I want mine to be dirty, and that's just my style of painting. I want them to be dirty and worn, and I get there.
Yeah, what's funny is my free guild started that way, and then now like what I have is totally different from that. Like the original direction of my free guild army is very, very different from what it ended up being.
Dudes in the field.
Well, I mean,
Clean.
Well, I mean, it went from being a very, very dirty army to now like a shinier, cleaner army.
Yep.
Mostly because I got rid of all my knights, and they were all painted like they did a lot of like that paint techniques and all of that stuff on those guys, like tons of typhus corrosion on them and all of that to like really make them look like they've been through the ringer. But like, I don't know, like they went to the compendium.
Yep. That's always been my paint style too, even before we had such things as washes and base paints and fun stuff like that. I always loved like the
I think that's one of the reasons it actually takes me longer to paint gross stuff because I get more experimental.
Yep. Yeah.
So
I mean,
I'll just, like, change everything I'm doing. It's like, oh, I'm gonna try it this way and see what happens.
Yeah, it's definitely what I find tough is when you're working on something that is like supposed to be messed up, but you mess up the battle damage kind of thing. So you have to like redo it clean to undo it again.
Right.
I still have 5 more Blight Kings just to assemble. Like I've got a list in my head for Triumph that like I have like I don't even have the models to put on the table yet. Like because they're still some of them are still in a box.
That's funny. I was wondering if we were going to do a trial of Triumph this week.
I would like to try to. I mean, I can just use proxy models for what I haven't built yet, or speed build them. But I'm out of plastic glue, and really don't want to do Blight Kings with super glue.
No. Plastic glue for stuff like that is ideal.
Yeah, like they have so many tiny parts.
This is the stuff.
Oh yeah, I ran out.
Yeah.
Actually, I could probably make a run tomorrow.
Have a backup.
Yeah. Well, I like spilled it twice, like 2 different bottles that I spilled.
Yep.
Yeah.
My cutting pad, which is drilled through, and this thing's like 16 years old. It's probably time to get a new one.
Yeah. I don't even bother with that. I just have a shitty old desk I use.
I have that too. One time I drilled right through my cutting board and through my desk. So not very. I was probably drinking and modeling. It's probably why I try not to do that much anymore.
Yeah.
Thank God that's not illegal yet.
Yeah.
Gotta have some way to relax the hands.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get all tensed up about how well you're painting and get uncomfortable, and it still comes out like crap. Oh, that might just be me. Never mind.
I loved your champion for the Path to Glory, Bob.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna continue to work on him. He's somebody that I'm probably not gonna run. Well, I might run him in Malign Portents, so I'm definitely gonna keep working on him. But He's going to take a while because there's a lot of chipping away at various parts of him that I want to do, and I'm still a little stuck on the color scheme. I'm really tired of red, so I'm painting my undead army, my Nagash kind of army, in various shades of blue. But then when I need a complementary color, I'm kind of struggling. I'm leaning towards purple because I think I'm not sure how purple and blue will look together, but purple's my favorite color, and I'm always afraid I'm going to overpaint purple. I just do it on too many armies. And I went back through my armies a couple weeks ago and realized I have no army painted purple.
Yeah, so do it blue, use purple as a secondary color, and as your tertiary color, use yellow.
Well, yellow or possibly green, because there's the green of the spirit hosts, which I finished up my spirit hosts.
Well, as far as the color wheel goes, I like those.
I gave them blue ethereal blades too. I don't like the idea of them looking like they're holding real weapons.
Yep, no, that's cool. As far as the color wheel goes, you want to use like for purple, the complementary color is yellow.
Yeah, I could definitely use yellow.
Yeah. Or if it's mainly blue, you can use orange.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay away from anything that looks too much like a sports team.
Boo!
Yay, go undead. Now, maybe for a Blood Bowl team, sure, but
You're doing Blood Bowl tomorrow, right?
Blood Bowl tomorrow. Got about 7 or 8 people that want to learn the game.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm just hoping we have enough other people to teach the game, so not everyone's just waiting for a game with me.
Sorry, I can't make it tomorrow to help you.
What's that?
I'm sorry I can't make it tomorrow to help you.
It's all right. But I think we are going to have a couple of vet players. And really, again, my hope here is that I can run a second boot camp because I know it's a few people that were not able to come to this one.
Yep.
And then I'd like to run a league in the summer.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I used to really enjoy running Blood Bowl leagues.
Yeah, I think Paul will love it too.
Yeah, I mean, I've played the video game version of Blood Bowl, which is the exact same game, just with the physical die rolling. So
you have to paint your models. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
And the computer doesn't cheat as much.
Well, the computer, though, is a little predictable. You know,
Great enough. I feel like it cheats all the time. Like, yes, I'm finally about to make that play. Just happened to, there's double skulls. Fuck you.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah. Well, what you got to do is just play against real opponents.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've had some good games, but the connection's pretty spotty, unfortunately. There was a guy that I used to play Blood Bowl with when I lived out in Columbus, Ohio, and for a while he and I were meeting online every week to play. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'm actually there's the league that I was playing with is about to start a new season. So I am probably going to do that.
A Blood Bowl league online?
Yep.
Now, how do those work? Do you have scheduled games that you have to be on at a certain time?
You get usually it's set up to be either like a week or 2 weeks for each round. So you'll have like your assigned opponent for the week, and you just figure out with them like when you can play and get your game in. So like the leagues take a long time.
That's fine.
They like each round is usually at least a week. And if you're like the league I was playing was a 16-player league, and it was a round robin with playoffs at the end.
Right. So that's
so I mean that thing took like 6 months.
I got no problem with that. It just sounds like something I'd really like to do. Did you just join a public league, or did you do one with some friends?
It's one of my friends that got involved with it with other people that are actually like other. I think it's mainly like Kings of War players in this area.
Okay.
Guys that used to be Warhammer Fantasy people and bailed. Joined the Great Tantrum, as I like to call it.
I was gonna say we got to get those people. I was really just so happy with how many people we got in this league playing Age of Sigmar. Crazy.
Yeah.
My only complaint is with Elliot. Elliot, if you happen to be watching this, you made me buy a Lizard Man army. Yep. You know, we talked about Kings of War a moment ago. I sold all my Kings of War stuff and then saw somebody selling Seraphon on Bartertown the same day. So it was like two separate transactions. Oh, I sold something and I bought something for the exact same amount of money.
It was destiny.
It certainly was. Because I used to play the Lizard Men in 8th edition, and I really loved them.
Yeah.
And
Chaos Army, you didn't like them anymore.
Well,
you didn't like me anymore after.
I just think that you know, the Lizard Men were painted by somebody.
Yep.
And so that always bugged me. I don't know that I always want all of the stuff to be in the various shades of blue. I mean, lizards could, I don't know, I think it'd be kind of cool to make them look like tree frogs or something, you know?
Exactly. I'd love to do an army like that. Paint them like tree frogs. I was going to do a Tyranid army like that, but I just never got to.
A long list of armies that you wanted to do that never quite happened.
Yep.
Yet.
It's a long list.
Yeah. I think if I did a Lizard Man army, I think I would go with like a neon paint scheme.
Yeah, that's the other thing. They'd look great that way.
Yeah, just go really like and go really extreme with it. Like if I could find it that would work for model paint, like blacklight model paint would be awesome for that.
I'm doing that with these. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. So you can't see my spirit host very well right now. However, Alexa, turn studio to blue. Sorry, Echo, turn studio to blue.
Okay.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And I've got other fluorescent paints too, and oranges and yellows and everything. I'm going to have some kind of fluorescent built into everything. Well, every Etheria unit or character in this army.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to figure out, I was telling Des last night, I need to figure out a nice way to make a display case that has blue LEDs, because blue LEDs, like you just saw, function as well as a blacklight bulb.
Yeah.
Echo, turn on painting in studio.
Okay.
God damn it, I'm going to make an Amazon order tonight, aren't I?
Well, you know what? You could be doing it right now just by telling her what you wanted if you were an Amazon Alexa user.
Echo, turn off all the lights.
Okay.
Of course, you realize you
I control the world.
you turned them off on my wife too.
Oh, that is the best. I love being diabolical.
That explains your love for Skaven.
Yeah.
Echo, turn on studio.
And you just left your wife in the dark.
Echo, Quote Rick and Morty.
Here's a Rick and Morty quote. Are you a simulation, Morty?
Jarrett,
Yep.
she does the quotes.
I can't believe they just got renewed for 70 shows.
Oh, I'm so excited about that.
The way they were letting on was like, yeah, we haven't heard anything. We're not getting renewed. We don't know what's going to happen. I'm working on, virtual reality stuff. And then they get renewed for 70. You know what it was the boss was like, I have the biggest hit show ever, and I can't approve for this amount of money. So now I have to talk to my investors. That's what I imagine anyway. Like, show was doing so well, he had to really go way up the ladder to get the money to budget that show out. 70 new shows. Love it.
Yeah. The thing that I heard kind of through the grapevine that the issue was that it was actually a money issue from the creator's side.
I am not surprised.
Well, they had to make more money because they needed more Szechuan sauce. They finally got Szechuan sauce.
Well, the issue that I heard was that they their initial deal that they did with the show didn't give them a very good cut of the royalties from all the merchandising and everything. And that stuff is just exploded. So obviously they want a piece of that, and they probably are deserving of a piece of that, right?
I agree 100%.
So if you're gonna, are you gonna just let Adult Swim bathe in the money from what you created, or
that Scrooge McDuck reference had to happen? Giving the money. Yeah, no. Dean Harmon's awesome. I have Paul, have you ever heard of Scud the Disposable Assassin?
I have actually heard of that. I have no idea what it is, though.
Is that also Adult Swim?
No, it's one of my favorite comic books that came out. It's old. It's from the early 90s, but I love that comic book so much. I have a leg tattooed in its honor. Dan Harmon was one of the writers for that comic book.
Ah.
So it's really cool to see him and Rob Schrab move to California and do really well.
Yeah.
That's cool, yeah.
Maybe I'll sue them so they can pay royalties for my tattoo.
You should. You're advertising. Hey, speaking of which, be placing an email to a certain someone. I'm going to be able to get that tat.
Nice.
Sold that pop-up camper today and a bunch of armies.
Yeah, if anybody's going to get a tattoo, Blueprint Gallery are awesome. They're in Massachusetts. Tim Brewer. He did. I'm not going to show it now because it's healing. It looks like a fucking mess, to be honest with you. That's just the way tattoos are. But this thing, once it heals, looks like a sticker. Dude's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah. And then it was a really cool design.
Yep.
I really like that. What's funny is I have an appreciation for tattoos and all of that stuff. I just have never done it myself. I don't know. My taste in things tends to just really change a lot over time, and making things permanent on myself just not something that goes with my personality at all.
Well, Paul. The thing is, I have never had a strong opinion on whether I would get a tattoo or not. I always thought, hey, they're kind of cool, and if I ever find one that's worth them, if I ever come up with an idea of my own, because I don't want to just pick something out of a book,
right?
And it means enough to me that I'm willing enough to pay for it, that I'm just going to go for it. And I thought of an idea that I was like, okay, that passes the criteria. I will sell some armies. I'll sell some other stuff. I want that tattoo because it's very meaningful. And it's always been meaningful. It's not something that I'm, I'm not going to get Khorne's symbol tattooed on my chest. Maybe.
Maybe. Never say never. And Tim is just a crazy good artist.
Yeah, like I really appreciate like the artistry of it. It's just one of those things that like I've never done myself, and I really appreciate the work on other people. I've just never found anything that like was that level of definitely permanent for me.
Yep.
Yeah, it has to be something I think that just, well, at least in my case, had to be very, very meaningful.
Yes.
I'm a very visual person, so it has to be something that like visually struck me and I was like, holy shit, that's fucking awesome.
Well, yeah, it's actually interesting because the whole reason that I'm getting this one in particular is there's some symbolism that means a lot to me. But also one of the things I want in it is a representation of wind, because I'm also a very visual person. But it turns out I've got a lot of important things tied to music and sounds and smells, and some of the most prominent memories of mine have to do with wind.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like tattoos. They're not for everybody. And I don't nilly-willy. I like sat on my tattoo design year for 2 years.
Yeah.
Where I got it. Some of my other ones longer. And sometimes it's just stuff that makes an impression and that's it. I'm ready.
Yeah.
The tattoo I just got, I had the impression for that right after I got my last one. Like as I was sitting in the chair, I was like, I know what my next tattoo is going to be.
Yeah, when I was sitting there with Tim, I actually thought of what I would get on my other. So I want to get a half sleeve, and I actually thought about what I'd want to get on the other half, and it would be the places I've traveled and lived.
Nice.
I told him, like, I know there'd be some kanji and stuff in there that you're probably bored with doing a million times, but unlike a lot of people that come in for Asian symbols, I've been to China, so
Yeah.
I would be looking for an outline of Shanghai or something, not kanji, because Shanghai is one of the most beautiful cities I have ever seen.
I would love to go there. And the other thing is you have to be careful about where you go too, because I know I used to work with a girl that got a Chinese symbol for a tattoo, and it meant something to her. I don't know, like peace or happiness or whatever. And you just fucked with her and gave her the Kikumin soy sauce symbol.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's
what?
The Kikumin soy sauce symbol. That's
wow.
Yeah. I can't imagine very many like tattoo studios fucking with you like that, but yeah, she got trolled. It wasn't the brightest bulb in the bunch, but
that really sucks for the amount of money that you're paying and everything.
How long did it take her to figure that out?
I'm not sure. Well, like I said, it wasn't the brightest bulb, but still, that's not nice.
Yeah,
I can't see that being a common thing that happened, and that was 25 years ago, probably 20 years ago, whatever.
Yeah, I think nowadays people would not be it wouldn't be worth risking their reputation.
No,
because tattooing has gone from being sort of a subversive counterculture, rebellious thing to being works of art.
Yep.
Which means,
even when I first started getting tattooed, people were like, "Holy shit! You have that huge ass tattoo on your forearm." It used to freak people out. Now, like everybody has sleeve tattoos. Nobody's freaked out, and I love that.
Yeah.
Nobody looks at me twice anymore. go for job interviews or whatever, I'm good.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. I'm never gonna do that again.
Go for a job interview. It's true.
Yeah.
Yep. I know, like, job related stuff definitely changed, like, some of my habits with certain things. You know, like, my like high school yearbook picture, like, is spiky bright red hair. Like,
Yeah.
like that was me through like all of high school and parts of college. And I was like, nope, time to go be an accountant now. And all of those things stopped.
Yep. A lot of people have held up on tattoos for work reasons. But no, for me, it was always just that. I mean, like, any time that I came up with something that I really wanted or needed, that was when I was going to do it. And I think I called Des the night I told him, or the night I came up with the idea and told him what I wanted to do.
I told you where to go.
Yep. That's why I asked you, yeah. Because the appeal to tattooing for me nowadays is how vibrant the colors are.
Yeah.
You know, they're not done in a back room in black ink. They're usually done by actual artists, and you're walking around with a meaningful piece of art on your body.
Yeah.
I seriously like, and it's funny. My wife was like, "Oh, you're just trying to fulfill your own destiny." I was like, I never wanted to be a tattoo artist. That never, like, I wanted to be a comic book artist.
The sweet life undone.
Nobody asked you, Siri.
The sweet.
Anyway, my daughter is an awesome artist. She has a great idea of how to work composition. She can copy like directly art, and she would be an awesome tattoo artist. And I'd love to see her open like a boutique shop, you know, after she goes to college for fine art, to be like, I have a fine arts degree, I tattoo, I charge, you know, $350 an hour,
Right.
and be booked every day. I think she could do that easily. She kind of looks at me funny. My wife looks at me like, you just want to fulfill your own destiny. And I'm like, I want to be a comic book artist. I wanted to make games. I never even thought about tattooing. And that was I didn't have, like, my art style was definitely not. I could not copy anybody's art style. Mine was all my own. You know.
Right.
I would not want to be responsible for that.
Yeah, and I would not want to be responsible for putting something on somebody else's body like that.
Me neither.
That is not a level of responsibility I'm comfortable with.
Yeah. My daughter, though, she's such a good artist. I have 100% faith that she'd be awesome at it.
I mean, just as long as the school system doesn't make her hate art. The U.S. school system is so bad about, like, discouraging children that are good at art.
Not our school system. That's good. I pay in the, you know, one of the highest, you know, cost of living states. I live in one of the highest cost of living towns. So my kid gets that good school system, and they have a great art program. She belongs to the art club and does all sorts of.
That's awesome, man.
For them, yeah.
Yeah. What's actually really cool is the school that my wife works for. My wife is an English teacher, but her school is an arts themed middle school.
Nice.
Like it's a magnet school. So they have like their normal school day, and then they have like 2 hours I think it's 2 hours of arts every day for like whatever you know, whatever creative venue they're interested in. So they have like If it's like music, they have like music instruction like 2 hours a day every day.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's very cool. It really like really helps kids with artistic inclinations to develop.
Yeah, because people just, you know,
Little kids just like my oldest. She did this when I don't even think she was 4. She did this.
Wow.
that's pretty cool.
She has like crazy artistic talent. I wish there was a magnet school like that. I wish I'd known about it. I would have moved to Connecticut instead.
Yeah, right? There's still time.
There is.
I was actually looking at art classes the other day to see if I could afford doing something somewhere.
Digital art. That's what I was looking at again. I was like, oh, I need to refresh my skills.
Yeah, I like to play around with digital art too, but everything boils down to you really know how you need to know how to draw.
Yep.
And you know, I'm trying to learn drawing, but I need to devote a little bit more time to it. And actually, that raises a question that I have for you guys that I've often heard debated about miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
Is painting miniatures art?
Absolutely. No doubt.
Yeah. I mean, I think for some people it's more so than others.
Yep.
I think you can make an art out of anything that you want to. You know, you can anything that you want to take to that level, you certainly can. And there was, I forget who it was. I think it was somebody on Warhammer Weekly a couple of weeks ago that was talking about like actually having miniatures, like miniature painting in like, you know, traditional art galleries and art shows.
Right. Yeah, it's funny because I've heard people come down on both sides of that argument, and I definitely do think it's artistic. But when I studied photography, basically I took a break from the tech industry for a while because I was so sick of it.
Yep.
And I went to photography school, and I became a professional photographer. And one of the things I found is that even something like photography, which most people will acknowledge as art, some people, you know, art snobs would say that's not really an art form. It's not creative. You're looking through a lens at stuff that already exists, and therefore you're not creating something new.
You know what I like to call those people?
What's that?
Assholes.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, art is such a subjective thing.
What I loved is this one place I used to shop sometimes in Berkeley, California, where
well, there's your first problem.
yeah, the people that ran the shop that worked at the shop, they had that real artier than thou kind of an attitude.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm ordering prints for my clients. How's that artier than thou working out for you?
Yeah.
You know, because they're selling film.
Yeah.
But anyways, you know, so, you know, I've heard the argument that painting miniatures is not an art form, particularly if you're just going along with one of the color schemes that's in a book or something. So
Well, I think that's complete BS.
I do too. I found it to be just almost like insulting, not to me, but they were telling a guy that went to art school for a long time that, oh, you went to art school and now all you do is paint minis for a game. And he would try to explain to them that it's art, and you get lots of arguments. And
yeah, I don't know. I think it's just such a nonsensical argument to me that I don't think it's not something that even makes sense to try and argue.
I couldn't train my father-in-law how to paint, and he's asked me like, oh, is that something you can teach me? You know, family business, blah blah blah. I'm like, no, I can't teach you. It's just, yeah, you have to have some modicum of artistic skill.
Yeah.
You can't paint by numbers and get away with it.
But I think that's what a lot of people think it is when they see how to paint Space Marines, and it's all Ultramarines, and they're all painted exactly like they are in the book. They get that impression.
Oh, I mean, I think there's a certain amount of people paint stuff exactly like it's in the book.
But even that can be artistic.
Well, yeah. If you paint it exactly like it is in the book to the same standards, that is not easy.
Nope.
You know, like I think a great example would be like
Ultramarines.
Like Martin Orlando's army, I think, is a perfect example of that. Like he took a textbook storm host and brought it to a really, really high level of quality, and then added his own touch to, you know, certain aspects of it to bring it out. But like, it's, you know, if you look at it quick, it just looks like what's in the book. But if you know, spend more than a moment looking at it, you realize that it's like, you know,
far beyond that.
Yeah, it's far beyond that. And it has a lot of really technical work on it. And it's, you know, it's to the same sort of level of paint job quality as the stuff in the book. Like, you've got to first recognize the quality of the work that's in the book to begin with.
Yes.
And to be able to replicate that is very difficult.
Yep. I'm hoping to meet Martin soon. It'd be fun. Like I said, I'm very pessimistic about Triumph, and not the event. I'm just, my ability to make it to the event is, I'm not too good about.
Yeah, because they just increased the AOS player cap, and I believe it was at the sacrifice of 40K tables, which is kind of a big deal.
Really, like, that's a real boy sort of a deal. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I mean, the kind of numbers that the event is pulling is like, it's going to be one of the biggest GTs in the United States this year.
Yep.
Hey,
it'll be up there. 50, like Adepticon, I think it's 150, which is pretty good.
Yeah, like it's like LVO, Adepticon, and what's the one in DC?
Nova.
Yeah, Nova. Like, those are probably the three biggest. I mean, it's probably going to be like in the top 10.
Yeah. What about the boys? You went to the boys last year, and I wish I could have went. This year, it's like, if I make any event, I want it to be the boys.
Yeah, that one was, I think, 22 last year. So it wasn't huge, but it wasn't small by any means. I feel like there's not enough coverage of the events that happen in the Northeast.
It doesn't seem like it, no.
Like, it's like people don't even know these events are happening. And, like, Crossroads is coming up. Du Bois is coming up. Triumph. I mean, I guess Nova is technically sort of like, it's at the very bottom of the Northeast, but it's still technically Northeast. I saw a rumor today that there may be an AOS GT at PAX Philadelphia this year.
If Philadelphia is a fun place too, that might be a fun.
Yeah.
If you can get a PAX ticket within first 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Like, we went to, I think it was 2011 when we went to the 40K tournament at PAX East. And then after that, forget about getting tickets. And we only got tickets because my buddy worked at the StubHub. That was it.
Yeah.
And that was funny because I was like, I've always been a competent 40K player. And that day, I forgot like half my army somehow because you know me.
Yep.
It's just the way I am.
You not explain that how you might have forgotten half your army at home. Yeah, you not need to explain that to me.
So I didn't like play up to my standard, and it was awesome seeing like my buddies like at the top of the game, like getting the first top spots was cool. Now that's like going to one of those is going to be fun, but I honestly want to go there, have fun, meet new people, but I want to like murder everybody.
Well, of course.
I want to be like, yeah, I want to. When I go to tournaments, I go there to cut throats.
Yep, I totally agree with you. Like, I brought Vanguard Wing to Du Bois.
Yep. And you did well. You did great at 5th place, right?
I forget what I did. Somewhere around there. I was I was 3-2 technically, but one of my losses was like a very tight game.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it was Duality of Death, and I lost by like 2 victory points, something like that. So it was not a big loss, but I played a Star Strike against Fire Slayers and just got wrecked.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that. Like you like didn't prioritize your targets.
Yeah, I hadn't played against Fire Slayers before, so I did not realize if you take out their heroes, it nerfs all of their saves.
Yeah.
So I was there just like slogging through dudes and not getting far.
That was my first experience playing them too. I'm like, holy crap. I should have gone right after those characters.
Yeah.
I think
and all the characters are weak too. Like they're not very good.
Right.
Easy to kill. Yep. Yeah, I really that last tournament was funny. Like I knew going in there I was playing the swingiest list you could play.
Yep.
I really wanted to play that Fire Slayers list though, because I took out the Zinch list, I took out the Beast Claw, and I was looking to take down the Fire Slayers. I was hoping I would end up with that, but c'est la vie. It was not to be.
Yeah.
And that list sucks. That list is awesome at tabling people, but not at like
objectives.
And get that objective. Not good. Not good at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's my only real concern with the Nurgle list that I've been working with. It just doesn't put a lot of bodies on the table.
Yeah.
It's a little small, yeah.
But at the same time, it's like the bodies it does put on the table are really hard to move.
Yep.
And they put out a lot of damage.
Yeah.
I was talking about how exciting Moon Clan would be, but honestly, the only other army I'd be more excited to see a book for, you can probably guess.
Skaven?
Yep.
Yeah.
Skaven book that works.
I would love to see them do a Skaven book along the same lines as they've been doing with
Death, right?
You know, like all of these other things like Death and Daughters of Cain and all of that, and have it be like you can ally in all of this other stuff, but like having like each clan have its own allegiance abilities and battalions, and like have all of this stuff still work together as one cohesive army like Death does.
Yep.
But have it take on a distinct different flavor depending on which clan you are building it around.
Right.
100% what I'd like to see. Yep.
And I think my honest expectation is this next year we're getting Slaanesh.
Yep.
And then we've done all 4 Chaos Gods. And they've done 1 Chaos God a year. So I truly would be willing to put money on the next thing, like the next Chaos thing after Slaanesh is Skaven.
My beloved rat people. Yep. I love those Skaven.
Yeah, it's an army I've always wanted to play. They were one of the first armies that caught my eye, and I ended up not picking them up because somebody in the group that I was playing with already had them, and I'm not a big fan of mirror matches.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to find something nobody else is doing.
That was my first experience with dwarves. Like, I want to play dwarves. And I was like, there's 4 people in our group that are playing dwarves already. I'll find something different.
Yeah.
And I got the Warriors of Chaos. And then I found, I think it was Fitzy too, playing Skaven. And I was like, oh, this is the best army ever. I want to play Skaven all the time.
And really, like, thematically, they're one of the more unique and interesting things to Warhammer.
Yes.
Like that and like Seraphon, I think are like there's not like that was like their early radical departures from Tolkien.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Completely. I'll say it again. I'm glad they completely departed from the old world and had the end times and created this whole new Age of Sigmar. I love it.
Yeah. What they really did was just throw away all of like the classic D&D Tolkien tropes.
Yep.
And just we're not doing that anymore.
Yep.
Which I'm totally fine with. Like I would much rather have interesting, new, innovative things or interesting takes on those things, like the Caradron Overlords.
Yep.
You know, keep a little bit of the same sort of personality, but not quite. I don't know. It's a lot more interesting that way, I think, than just having the same like dwarves and elves and humans and orcs and goblins and ogres and like all the same crap over and over again.
And I get it. There, like people were attached to like the special characters, I guess, but how many times is Cobra Commander going to come back? You know, before you're like, all right, Cobra Commander, that's enough.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm glad they killed off most of those heroes, except for Skarsnik and Gobla. I miss some of them too. I have to admit, if they found a way to bring back some of those special characters, I'd be happy. Like if they figured out that like the big upside down pyramid of Nagash, plus the Sands they're bringing in, and he like took apart Malice and was able to like bring like Ikit Claw back to life. Like if their spirits just creep back into the mortal realms, I'd be totally cool with that. I'd like that.
Yeah. And it doesn't seem unreasonable to have, you know, we've already had the instance of somebody that had like entered the Chaos Warp coming back out.
Yep.
So that's totally a thing that they can do again.
Yep. Yeah, I think everybody give them the party pass to do that. Bring back all the characters, all the like Total War people would be all about it, I think.
Yeah.
Total War would be all about it.
Yeah. I mean, I think Bretonnians are still going to stay dead. I think Tomb Kings are still going to stay dead.
I think Bretonnians are Flesh Eater Court now, and that's it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that would be a cool reveal if they just like straight up said that the Flesh Eater Courts are all dead Bretonnians. That would be awesome.
Would support that, that's for sure.
Yep.
I see some purple hair peeking around.
Yeah, my wife's heading to bed. I actually am probably not going to be on much longer myself either.
Yeah, I should probably head to bed too.
It's early.
Completely unprepared for Mother's Day. Woo!
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, big day. Mother's Day.
Okay, Des, I love your shirt.
My Iron Jaw shirt?
Yes, that's a long story, but yes, I like the logo.
He does love the logo of the orcs.
Yep.
It's
actually a Warhammer World exclusive, and I had one of my my UK friends buy it and send it back to me.
Nice.
Well, thanks for rubbing that in.
Plus, he wears it on his show, so everybody that watches on YouTube is like, "Oh, can't get that. Thanks. That's great. You're just showing off now.
I am.
That was great. We saw a Rick and Morty T-shirt done in the style of the original cover for the X-Men's Days of Future Past.
Nice.
Which, okay, if the geek level just got cranked up, if you know that cover. I do.
All right, gents. I'm going to call it a night as well. And I look forward to seeing you guys and talking to you throughout the week.
Yep, we'll see you definitely on Wednesday, right?
All right. Take care. Thank you again for having me on.
Not a problem. Yeah, I think my current favorite T-shirt that I have is one of my Rick and Morty shirts, and it is just Rick in a suit, and it just says "Make America Swifty Again." I definitely wore that to a doctor's appointment the other day and had some old man in the elevator staring at the shirt and totally did not understand it at all, and it was awesome.
That's awesome. My favorite is I have a Mastodon shirt with two Asgardian gods fighting each other. I'm 10 more pounds and I'm back in that shirt again.
Gotta jump on the keto diet with me and Ryan.
I have the Wii Fit. That's doing me right.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the ketogenic diet. It's basically just bacon for all the meals.
Yeah. My diet is very similar.
Yep.
Similar. Yep.
But anyway, I think I am going to shut things down for the evening. It's been fun as always. Thank you to all of those that have been hanging out, sticking around with us the whole time. Always a good time. And I don't know, I've got some plans for some fun stuff on my channel coming up. So should have some interesting things that we've cracked the 500 mark.
It's pretty good.
And the interesting observation that I made the other day is I think I don't know if I am the #1 most frequent guest, but I'm probably in the top 5 most frequent guests on Warhammer Weekly.
Nice. Hey, you're up to 515.
Yeah.
You've gone past the 500 mark.
Yeah. It was funny. Like having that shout out on Warhammer Weekly gave me 20 more subscribers in 24 hours.
It's pretty good.
Yep.
And the two loyal downvoters haven't been through yet.
Yeah. So there's an interesting story that supposedly the double downvote was one person.
Really?
That was going around to all of the Age of Sigmar YouTubers and downvoting all of their videos on 2 different accounts. It was there was some person out there that was had that level of malice towards the Age of Sigmar community that they were you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to downvote everybody twice.
You really have to have nothing to do.
Yeah, either that or it was just somebody within the Age of Sigmar community that was being a douchebag.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm gonna blame it on Ninth Age people. That's what
Oh, those poor Ninth Age people. All 4 of those people are gonna be so mad.
I know. They're just slowly getting kicked out of everything.
It's all right. People enjoy, the tail end of 8th edition, and that's fine. It was a lot of fun. Age of Sigmar is a totally different game, and you have to get into that mindset to enjoy it. And if you can't, and you want to continue, totally fine. I don't care. It's not bothering me.
Yeah. The thing that is, I think, putting the nail in the coffin for them, though, is that GW is not providing prize support to any events that include a 9th Age event.
Gotcha.
So, like, that was a little bit of a that got instituted like right before Du Bois last year, and they like got caught by surprise with it. But yeah, that's why they weren't at Adepticon this year.
Oh, 9th Age?
Yeah, that's why there was no 9th Age at Adepticon. They got dropped because GW wouldn't support Adepticon if they let 9th Age be there.
Interesting. Makes sense. It's I don't know. I don't even know if it makes sense, but that I guess maybe if I think about it, I'll get it a little bit more. But how many
I think it's
actually play enough to keep Mir's miniatures alive.
I mean, how much of that is 9th Age and how much of that is Kings of War? And how much of that is people just using alternative minis for AOS?
I don't know. I can't tell you the numbers.
Yeah.
Was there a lot of people there for 9th Age at Du Bois?
And there was also an 8th edition tournament at Du Bois. What was funny, though, was that 8th edition and 9th Age were in a separate hall. Like, I never even saw the people.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. It was 40K and AOS in the main hall. And 40K was like 90 people.
Yeah, that's... I can imagine, like, Age of Sigmar being more this year at Du Bois.
Yes. I mean, already, like, Triumph is like 40 people, and if I looked at the confirmed list of people from Triumph so far, I'm like, well, he was at Du Bois, he was at Du Bois, he was at Du Bois, he was at Du Bois. So like, it's the same crew of people.
I wonder, and I haven't looked at the numbers for South Coast GT yet either, but I wonder what the numbers are like there this year.
I don't know, probably pretty high.
So I think I think Age of Sigmar is really catching its stride now.
Yes, I would definitely agree with that. It's getting to that point where it's got a lot of weight behind it now, and there's been enough additions to the rules that people can see it as a competitive game.
Yep,
and not just silly nonsense. Which is like, if we really look at things objectively, like Age of Sigmar on release day versus Age of Sigmar now are like completely different games.
Yep.
And if we look at the release compared to where we're at now, like the release was like an abortion.
Yep.
Like it was so bad. Like I understand why 9th Age happened and why like tons of people just flocked over to Kings of War and have stayed there. There's people that have been coming back from Kings of War.
Lots, I would say. And lots from 9th Age. I think people are really...
Well, 9th Age is dying and Kings of War is boring.
Yep.
Like 9th Age is just like, it's unsupported by, there's no company producing anything for it. And they have fallen victim, I think, to having way too many cooks in the kitchen.
Shield Wolf. Mears and Shield Wolf are the companies that are like, this is for 9th edition, or use them for anything.
Yeah, but they like have just released too many rules changes, too many rule sets. Like nobody knows what version of the game they're playing. Like you have to like talk like when you get together with your opponent to start a game, you don't just have to decide a point level. You have to be like, oh, so we're playing this version of the rules, right? Like that's a problem.
Yeah, that's not good. Not good at all.
Yeah. So I think that's been a major problem for 9th Age, and they just made the game more complicated than 8th edition was.
And I think that's a huge problem. I don't know.
Eighth edition was really heavy on the rules. Like that game collapsed under the weight of its rules.
There was 3 pages just for movement or more, if I remember. The special rules, forget it.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And then Kings of War, I think, is just so watered down compared to what 8th edition was.
Went too far in the other direction.
Yeah. Like, I've played a few games of Kings of War, and it was fine. Like, I think if Age of Sigmar didn't exist, I would probably be playing Kings of War. But, like, Age of Sigmar is just so much better. That, like, there's so much more depth and complexity to it.
It's like, and the reason I like Age of Sigmar is the reason I don't like, and my buddies all love X-Wing, Armada, Legion, but there's just something just stale about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the there's like a sweet spot of complexity in games, I think. And I think Age of Sigmar has hit it the right way in that like each game is as complex as you kind of want it to be.
Exactly.
And
we're messing with stuff with all the events we're doing. Is we're adding in, bolting on what we want.
Yep.
To add a different layer of complexity and not make it like crazy where nobody knows what the hell they're doing. Make it easy enough for people to get into, then throw a little something on top of it. Then the next event, throw something different on top of it. Then maybe the next one we throw 2 different things. And I don't know.
Yeah. And I think one of the biggest advantages is that there aren't a bunch of keyworded rules to remember.
Yep.
Which, like, I think it is easier overall to remember a totally unique thing than what a big list of stuff does.
Yep. 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 The War Scrolls was the right way to go.
Yeah. I feel like the War Scrolls, it conceptually made Age of Sigmar a lot simpler, while at the same time letting the game be infinitely more complex.
Yep.
Because it's straightforward. You can just read, like, each unit just has a page of what it does.
Yep.
And you don't have to cross-reference to anything else.
Exactly. There's much less bookkeeping at the table and book reading.
Yes.
And arguing over semantics and rules lawyering. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that still happens, but
a little bit, but not as much as it used to with 8th edition. Ugh. People screaming at each other with their big red books. No.
Yeah. That book was so unwieldy.
Yep.
Well, anywho, I think it is actually time to shut her down. I'm going to go to bed. It's been fun. We'll have to get a game in this week, hopefully doing a trial run for Triumph so I can actually figure out what the hell my army does.
We'll definitely do that. I have an intro game to give, but after that, we'll definitely get a high competitive game in. I'll bring maybe my Steven.
I love that sentence, by the way. I got a really good competitive game in. I'll bring my Skaven. Like nobody but like you would say something like that. But you know what? Like you're one of those people that would like bring a Skaven list to like Adepticon and run a train on everybody. So like what does that fucking battalion do? Like, you do what?
and honestly, I feel like looking at the Deepkin, I feel like I said, they don't feel like right off the top like they're competitive, but I feel like I could unlock something out of them to do something crazy.
I feel like I'm gonna have a lot of turtles flying at me soon.
I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to do that. I think I have, especially with the FAQ update today, with the Harbinger for order.
What was the FAQ update?
It basically made it so that the Lord Ordinatus could be taken in allegiance armies and be made your general. And
well, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
the intent of those things.
I have some Mornar revolving thoughts around that, and maybe I don't even need to use Mornar anymore with them. Like I feel like I could legit make an army around the Lord Ordinatus that is not going to be nice.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is it's going to be best on war machines that are not crewed.
Yep.
You
mean like sky vessels for Kharadron overlords?
Yeah, or steam tanks.
Yep. I have a steam tank.
Yeah. The disappointing thing, though, is that the Luminarch and the Huracanum are not war machines.
Ooh.
Yep. So there goes that idea. Being able to take double shots with the Luminarch would be really mean.
I would not like that.
Yeah, that plus a oh shit. What is the elf wizard? I'm forgetting what the elf wizard thing is. The guy that gives you rerolls on like a 5. Doing that on a Luminarch that could shoot twice would be so mean.
I think like being able to shoot with 2 ironclads, basically rerolling almost everything, and double shotting one of them.
Yeah.
Could be really not nice. And you chemist them.
Yeah. So yeah, you would be getting quad shots off of something with the chemist.
Yeah, you can't do it with the sky vessels, but you can do it with sky wardens or any of the infantry type units. Which
Got it.
They're just filthy anyway. So you can play like Clan Urbaz and really crank up the attacks.
Yep, that's mean.
I have some mean ideas, but I have to flesh them out and look up rules again.
Yeah, I remember what the Lord Ordinator actually does and what other like other units we don't ever play do.
Yep.
Are there any other war machines in order that aren't crewed? I don't know. I mean, I even like it with like Hellstorm rocket batteries.
I mean, like any like Kharadron overlords, right there. You can, you know, with them. What about the Seraphon? Like of the gods or whatever.
I don't think any of those are war machines.
I don't know. That's something to look into for next time.
That's a good one to check on, though. Yeah, one slipped keyword will
yep,
make that shit broken as hell.
Oh, it could be fun. That's probably the homework I'm going to do right now.
Yep. Anywho, I need to actually go to bed for like the 5th time of me saying it. So,
Night all.
later.